Ooh,
this is for you, Mike, right here. We got Eric Ebron. He signs a 2-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this is actually going to be one of my favorite, free agent signings of the whole thing so far. I mean, I just think that this is a good landing spot for him. Yeah, I do think you're going to get a Big Ben back. I know he's kind of on the tail end of his career, but he's still Big Ben, and we kind of saw how bad those quarterbacks were. Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph getting blasted in the head by Garrett Miles. Is his name Garrett Miles?
Miles Garrett.
I still think of the meme where it's like half his head's in death.
Oh my god! Or like you see the meme where it's like you step on the doll and like his head's like bashed in.
It's like I didn't see that.
But no, I do like this. Eric Ebron, he goes to the Steelers. Like I said, 2 years. And I just think you have to get more playmakers out here. But outside of Juju, I mean, we saw Juju. Obviously, it's hard to really assess Juju because, the big question, coming into last year was, can Juju be a true number one without AB there? Focusing on, the defense is focused on him. But it's kind of like you can't really tell that. Juju got hurt, and then, Big Ben obviously went down for the rest of the year. So it's kind of hard to really assess that. I mean, we saw some flashes of Deontay Johnson. We saw some flashes of James Washington here and there. We were kind of big on the Vance dance going in. That was kind of one of our sleepers. Just didn't really pan out there. Obviously,
very awake sleeper.
Yeah, obviously, that didn't pan out, and they obviously don't like it either. That's why they went out and they made the deal to go sign Eric Ebron. But yeah, I do like Ebron, and I think for me personally, it's kind of early, but I think he could be a top 10 tight end for you right here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of where I was targeting Vance last year, like 9th round, 10th round. I think I was going from there. So if it's that same price tag, I mean, I'm going to go on record and say Ebron's a little bit more talented than Vance McDonald. And he stayed healthy a lot more than Vance McDonald stayed healthy, which is pretty much never. If you can get a 16 out of Ebron, I mean, we've seen him be, even in Detroit, he had some 60 catch. I'm not going to pull it up because it's going to take me too much time, but 60 catch years. Yeah. What do you have? He had the big touchdown upside, so we know you can score touchdowns. He can catch.
He's a red zone threat.
Yeah, we've seen him do both. It wouldn't surprise me to get 65, 700, and let's just say 8. You get that out of a tight end, that's a top 10 tight end. Yeah. And that's going to be a little bit of consistency, too, because if a tight end can reach 60, 70 catches, it's
Mike just threw up the Mason Rudolph.
That was one of those things where I very rarely laugh out loud on my phone, but I laughed out loud like a psychopath. People are like, what the hell is this dude laughing at?
Yeah, but sometimes, like you said, once you get outside the top, maybe we could say now this year coming up top 5 tight ends, in terms of receptions, yardage, and touchdown upside. Once you get to the 6, to 15 range, I guess you could say it, you're kind of looking for all these tight ends can finish within a couple points within each other, in terms of yardage and reception. So which tight end has the highest touchdown upside? And Ebron, obviously, we saw that one year. I think he had 15, 16 touchdowns 2 years ago. Andrew Luck. So, I love it. I think this is a great signing. And like I said, it's one of my favorite signings so far in the offseason.
For sure. I agree. I know I just got here, but I'm a big.
You agree?
I'm a big Eric.
We said everything you were going to say.
No, I loved Eric Ebron coming out of college. So.
We read your notes.
I mean,
and then we relayed it.
He was one of those. He's like a freak athlete, so it took him a while to pop. But when he did, it's about time. He's still young. He's 27. He's not that old.
Yeah,
and that's 23 for tight ends, right?
I mean, he's been in. I mean, he's really super athletic. He's a matchup guy, and I mean, if Big Ben's healthy, he could get you 10.
For sure. Yeah. No, I love it. I think he'll be the second option in that offense.
Not a flub.
Outside of Juju.
Maybe even some guys first.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, I would say 6 touchdowns, 7. I would say 7.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for Juju to prove he can beat press, which he didn't do last year.
Yeah. Juju was boo-boo.
Yeah, Juju didn't impress anybody, but neither did those quarterbacks.
That's true. Yeah. I mean.
It was not a flub.
Not a flub.
Hey, you're getting better at this.
So what do you think about Vance McDonald then? What does that do? Did I already miss that?
We were just saying that we thought Eric Ebron's a little more athletic.
Weird.
I mean, obviously, if they don't have confidence in Vance, because if they did, they wouldn't have went out.
He's irrelevant.
Or I mean,
you would go out and get a receiver if you thought your receivers aren't good enough, but Vance was good enough. But obviously, you're thinking okay, our receivers are kind of good. Our running backs are, I think James Conner has a bounce back year. But, yeah, obviously the tight end position was where they were struggling at.
Well, I just don't know if they got a new coordinator. A lot of teams like doing that double tight now. So
BRB Blazer.